Hi, Ashley here. Today I am doing the book buying habits tag. I was not officially tagged by anyone, however I was watching Reagan from Peruse Project's video and she said that she was officially tagging any booktuber who was new to booktube. So I'm tagging myself via Reagan from Peruse Project, so I guess Reagan tagged me. Regardless, her channel is amazing. She's one of my all-time favorite booktubers, so I will link her below. And also, Megan Olivier, who originated this tag, also said that she tags everyone, so that too. And her channel is also fabulous, so I will also link her below. And I guess let's get started. The first question is, where do you buy your books from? And this is kind of a mishmash answer. For the most part, I buy my books in bookstores. I either buy them in the bookstore that I work at, or I buy them at Chapters, Indigo, Kohl's, because I live in Canada and they pretty much have all the bookstores. Otherwise, sometimes online I will buy from the Book Depository or chapters.ca or Book Outlet, which I just discovered and is fabulous. But for the most part I try to buy in store because I like to support bookstores, I guess, and I also just love spending time in bookstores, and yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, that too. The second question is, do you pre-order books, and if so, from where? And no, I don't pre-order books generally. I like the idea of being exciting that it's the release day and then going into the store and getting the book from the store, and normally I end up buying more than just that book when I go into the store too. So it's kind of like a planned outing, I guess, or something. So I really like to do it that way. Number 3 is, on average, how many books do you buy a month? And this is really hard because some months I buy like a lot of books and other months I buy like no books. However, I have given myself a rule this year that I want to only buy as many books as I read so that my TBR shelf never becomes bigger than it currently is. So if I read 5 books this month, I will buy 5 books this month, and so on and so forth. So generally between 4 and 8 books, I guess, would probably be a general estimate. Question 4 is, do you use your local library? And sadly, no. I live in a really, really small town, and our local library doesn't really have a lot of YA, or any YA for that matter. So I don't generally use that library, and like the small amount of YA books that they do have, I don't want to like take them out for 2 weeks when there's someone in high school who doesn't have a job or doesn't have an income to be buying their own books, doesn't get the opportunity to read that book because I'm taking like one of the 3 YA books that our library has. So I don't really use it. Although I loved libraries when I did have the ability to go to them. So like in high school and public school when we had our libraries, I used them quite often. Question 5 is, if so, how many books do you take out at a time? How many books are you allowed to take out at a time? I don't know how many books I'm really allowed to take out from this local library, but I can tell you what that answer would have been in high school, which would have been 3. I would have been allowed to take out 3 at a time, and I probably would have taken out 3 at a time because I like to read multiple books at once. Question 6 is, what is your opinion of library books? And I love library books. I have no problem with them. I personally, since growing up and, you know, having a job and having an apartment and a place of my own, I have kind of developed a love for owning my books and having them sit on a bookshelf and be displayed for the world, and I personally like to annotate my books, so I just really like to own my books and keep them forever. But I do love the idea of libraries and library books. I think they're super helpful and very wonderful, and I really hope that they stay around for a really long time and never become obsolete. Question 7 is, how do you feel about charity shops and or secondhand bookstores? And this is a really tough question for me because I really like my books to be in pristine condition and to stay in pristine condition and to be perfect because I'm crazy. But I also really love the idea of going into secondhand bookstores because I love books that have like inscriptions in them. And if I go into a secondhand bookstore and I find a book that has an inscription in it, I will buy it almost every time because I just love the idea of having like a piece of someone else's life. Like that book was a piece of that person's life. That inscription proves that, and I just love it. I just love the idea of loving something that someone else has already loved. So it's a catch-22 because I like my books to be perfect, but I also really like the idea of having a book that someone else has previously loved. Question 8 is, do you keep your TBR shelf separate from all your other books, or do you put all your books together on the same shelf? And that's kind of tricky. I used to keep my TBR books separate, and then I kind of rearranged my bookshelves so that all my hardcovers were together, all my paperbacks were together, all of my adult books were together, and then I color-coded them, and I didn't want to keep my TBR shelf separate because it just seemed like a lot going on my shelf. However, all the books that I'm planning on reading in the near future, or books that I've just recently finished and haven't found a place for on my bookshelf yet, are all right here. There are books there that you haven't seen me haul yet. So that's kind of like a soon TBR, not like my full TBR, but kind of like a TBR that I plan on reading in the very near future. So yes and no would be my answer. Question 9 is, do you plan to read all the books that you own? And currently the answer to that is yes. Just before Christmas, I went through all my books and chose all the books that I either read and didn't like very much, or the books that I had received as gifts way in the past and I would never read now. And I put them all into a pile and I took them to my local public school or my local high school or a secondhand shop in a town nearby, and gave everyone all the books that they wanted from that pile for free, because just because I didn't like a book doesn't mean someone else wouldn't like that book, and just because I wouldn't read that book doesn't mean someone else wouldn't, and I wanted to pass the book love along, I guess. So as it stands right now, all the books that I own I plan on reading, so yes. Question 10 is, what do you do with the books that you feel like you will never read or that you didn't like? And I just answered that. I donate them. I always donate them. I always like to pass the book love along, and books deserve a long lifespan, so yes, I donate them to different places. I should have read these questions before I answered them. Question 11 is, do you donate books? And yes, I do. I 100% do. Question 12 is, have you ever been on a book buying ban? And the answer to that is no. I would never put myself on a book buying ban. That's like putting yourself on a diet where you're not allowed to eat chocolate. All you're gonna want is chocolate all day, every day. So if you put yourself on a book buying ban, all you're gonna want to do is buy books. So I kind of have put myself on like a book buying restriction right now, which is what I've told you guys about, that I'm only buying as many books as I read. I think that's fair. It's not like a book buying ban, but it kind of prevents me from going overboard with my book buying. But yeah, no book buying bans. I would never do that to myself. That would be torture. And question 13 is, do you feel that you buy too many books? And no, I don't. I plan on reading all the books that I buy when I buy them, and if I don't like them or if I don't want them anymore, I donate them. So no, I don't think that I buy too many books. Plus, I really like supporting publishing houses and bookstores and bookshops and authors and everything. I just find that the whole amount of people involved in what happens when I buy a book is phenomenal and wonderful. So no, I do not buy too many books. You can't buy too many books. There's no such thing. That's a lie. So yeah, that is my book buying tag. I'm really excited about this tag. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm really excited to see all of you do it, because I think it's fun to hear booktubers talk about like how they buy books and why they buy books and etc. It's kind of a fun getting to know you exercise that we do on the interwebs, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to tag a whole bunch of people now. If you have already been tagged or you've already done this video, I'm very sorry. I didn't do my research before filming this, so I'm sorry, but it happens, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to tag Jessica from Priceiswong. I'm going to tag Jamie from Ermahgerd Berks. I'm sorry if I ruin your name every time I say it out loud. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to tag Nerds Like Us 97. I'm going to tag Cold Tea and Crumbs. I'm going to tag Ariel from Ariel Bassett. I'm going to tag cozyteareads. I'm going to tag Jessethereader. I'm going to tag Little Book Owl. I'm going to tag you. Whoever you are, do this tag. And if I don't know you or I've never seen your channel, I apologize, and please link your video below when you do this tag, any and all of you, and I will be sure to check out all of your videos and subscribe to all of you wonderful people in this wonderful booktube community. And yes, I 100% agree with what Reagan did in her last video, which is just tagging people who are new to booktube and need to do some tag videos. So yeah, that is what you should do. And yes, rambling now. So I'm gonna go. I had a really fun time doing this tag, and I hope you had a really fun time watching it. And be sure to comment below if you have any comments about this tag, or if you do this tag, please link your video below because I want to watch it. And I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye!